Hey guys, this is Justin Credible, and you're watching Pro Wrestling 101. Today, I'm proud to say I'm here with one of my good friends, Bob Evans, and Bob and I go way back to, I believe he booked me on my first ever indie card in 1992, Taunton, Massachusetts. Yep. Remember it like it was yesterday. Bob, we're honored to have you, and I wanted to kind of get your opinion since we started out basically together, coming up at the same time, what it kind of takes to make it from the indie ranks to obviously where you are today, Ring of Honor. You've been to WWE, you've been everywhere, like myself. Like, how is it different for cats coming up today than it was in our time? You know, because it was pretty hard in our time too. But I mean, what are the differences? How the business has changed today?
Well, that's a good question. I think the positives of it are, I think there's more events to work. I think there's a lot more work out there for the guys. Maybe not necessarily, you know, like high pay and stuff, but if you want to get out there and you want to work and you want to wrestle and have some matches, I think there's a lot more opportunity if you're willing to drive and do the thing. That's really the biggest thing I tell the guys is don't right now put your internship in, put your time in. If you have to work for low money, do it, drive the miles. Get yourself in with the promoter, do what you're told, work hard, get better, go to training, go to practice. I think that's another thing too is you had a good school, I had a good school, but not everybody did, you know? I know at the time, like we had Kowalski's, I had Bruiser Costa, you had Paul Roma, but a lot of guys don't have that. So that's another thing too. Look at who's training you. You know, I may not have the biggest name in the world, but you know my reputation as a trainer. I know you're training right now, and I've heard very good things about you. And like I said, we've known each other for over 20 years, and it's first of all, it's just great to see you, buddy.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're doing well for yourself, and I'm glad you've worked through some stuff. And he showed me his abs a few minutes ago, and was bragging on that, and he should. That's great for him. He only keeps me around because I'm one of the few guys that's older than him that's still wrestling. So,
but I mean, you know, really quickly, the business changed so much for us because when we started, I mean, we were doing shows that he promoted in Taunton, Massachusetts, in this little place in front of 50 people. But man, back then even, the talent we had, I mean, some good guys came out of that. Scott Taylor, Tony DeVito, myself. I mean, there were others as well. I fear today the younger guys don't have the higher, you know, they're not learning from each other like they could because where are they getting it from? I feel like a lot of our traditions and a lot of our schooling in this business is kind of being lost. So, I mean, I know this is kind of not a hard question, but it's not an easy question to answer. What do you think kids to get to that next level have to do since they don't have the luxury and the privilege that we had with the veterans back then?
Well, I think one of the things that in our day is when we were the younger guys on the show, we were the worst guys on the show too because we didn't have the experience. I mean, you'd go into a locker room, they'd be guys with 10, 15, 20, 30 years experience. Phil Apollo, you'd see Phil, you'd see Chief Jules Strongbow, you'd see, not Simon Diamond, excuse me, you'd see Paul Diamond, you'd see guys just off WWF who had worked for 15, 20 years in the territory, so they could string you along and give you some good matches too. Nowadays, it's kind of like, I call it like incestual, where we're all eating the young guys are kind of eating their young because they're all kind of approximately the same level. What I always tell people is if there's a seminar run by you, if there's a seminar run by me, by Goldust, who's here today, by different people, go to those seminars, learn all you can because it's kind of replaces riding in the car with these guys. Even if a lot of guys just tell you stories or tell you your match is good or bad or give you some pointers, but the point is they pass down that experience, but you have to kind of try to find it now. That would be the biggest thing, but like I said, I can't really complain because my career was a little different. I had a lot of personal stuff happen to me where I got married, had kids. I didn't want it as badly as some of the guys did. So the biggest thing you should do is stay in the game and just keep trying and keep getting better. I reinvented myself completely 5 years ago where I actually have a great spot on Ring of Honor and I'm really proud to have it. But I'm also going to be proud of myself because of how hard I worked. But the last 5 years are the hardest I've ever worked in my career, on my body, on my skills. If a young guy could show me something, I didn't care anymore. I wasn't very high-minded, like this young guy is going to teach me. What's he going to teach me? Now I ask for advice from, you know, more experience, less experience. I think you have to hunt for it more. I don't think the guys pull you aside and point the finger and yell at you. But I think the best thing you can do is just be on these guys. There are guys there that can still impart wisdom. I mean, we've been to wrestling events, like a wrestling event today. A couple young guys asked me to watch their match, and I did. But that really should be 6 or 8 guys asking us to watch that match. We can't always do it, but you know, I'd really be flattered by that. And I think guys are intimidated or scared, and that's how you have to do it, you know? So that really, the biggest thing is you just got to be a go-getter. It's a different business. There's more guys in it now, but that doesn't mean the quality is any better. It's about the same percentage of quality guys, and there are jobs out there, but you may have to create a job for yourself. And you did too. I mean, you reinvented yourself several times, and you're in the process of reinventing yourself again. You know, and you're beating the bushes and trying to find work, and you're humbling yourself when you have to, and you're also singing your laurels when you have to too. And I'm glad, I'm happy and proud for you, because we need those old veterans, those old young veterans, to kind of pass this stuff along. I mean, you know, you rode in the car with the Click, and you know, I was fortunate enough to ride in the car with some really, really good veterans that weren't even necessarily big names, but they just had great advice for me. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, is we have to pass this wisdom down or it dies. And I think there's a lot of good talent coming up. I mean, I've seen really good guys, but we just have to keeping ourselves open and keeping ourselves available for these guys, and hopefully it'll make it easier for them to do it. But the biggest thing for all young guys in the business, Pro Wrestling 101, is just stick at it, don't give up, improve your body, make sure your gear is better than the last time they saw you, make sure your body's better, make sure you work on your promos. If anybody has advice on you on Twitter or Facebook, if they're veterans or they're big names, just read it, suck it up, and take all the advice you can, because that's the most important thing, is take all this stuff in and use it and invest it. I always call it pennies in the piggy bank, where every little piece of information you get, even if you don't use it right away, is a penny in your piggy bank of investing in your career. And it's not going to come in dollars, and it's not going to come in 20s. It's going to come in 1 cent, 2 cents, 5 cents. But eventually you have a big piggy bank full of knowledge that you can invest. So really, I mean, I answered your two-minute question with a 5-minute answer, but really, I mean, I don't know how you. I mean, how do you feel about it? What's your?
I think, look, it's absolutely that. Perseverance pays, and you really only get what you put into it. And like you just said, guys asking us to watch matches, or anybody, quite honestly, I wish more guys would do it. And really, it's just about immersing. Immersion is a huge thing. Anything you want to get in life, role model who people who have succeeded. How did they get that way? What did they have to do? How many days did they go to the gym? What did they watch? Model guys that are successful. I mean, that's you're just doing, what is proven to have worked. And like you said, you got to just do the best you can with what you have today. And with social media and all we have, really, there's no stopping us. And there is a lot of opportunity, although maybe different than it was 15, 20 years ago. But there's still plenty of it. Bob, it was honestly, from the bottom of my heart, a pleasure, and it's great to see you. We haven't seen each other in years. Perseverance pays, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bob Evans. I'm Justin Credible, and that's Pro Wrestling 101.